Well, I just want to make it clear, I'm not the legal fiction corporate entity defendant.
Okay,
Maybe
all right.
fraudulently assumed if I give a
Sir,
name.
you're allowed
Objection,
one
that violates
business,
my due process.
and he's
Objection, that
not to
violates my right to a
return.
personal bond.
He's
I have a
not, he's
constitutional right, as
not
you
to
just said,
appear
to
at
be presumed
9.
innocent without guilty.
Today's case is one of those jaw-dropping sovereign citizen spectacles that makes you sit back and wonder, do these people actually believe the words coming out of their mouths? We're talking about Eric Joseph Martin, a man so wrapped up in his own delusions that he thinks just shouting, "I'm not the legal fiction corporate entity," will magically erase a domestic violence charge. Spoiler, it won't. The judge asks him a simple question.
And then we've got Mr. Martin.
He claims to be an attorney, so he refused to speak with Mr. Fanto.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, this is 241388, the state of Michigan versus Eric Joseph Martin. Sir, can you tell me your name?
Oh, not the Roman Sesticate Trust, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay. Are you going to tell me your name or not, Mr. Martin?
Well, I just want to make it clear, I'm not the legal fiction corporate entity defendant.
Okay.
Maybe
All right.
fraudulently assumed if I give a
Sir,
name.
if you require accommodations to use the court because of disabilities, or if you require a foreign language interpreter to help you fully participate in court proceedings, please let the court know immediately. You are here today on count 1, domestic violence. There's an allegation that on June 8th of 2024 in the city of Taylor at 9074 Clippard, that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Crystal Nicole Martin, a resident or former resident of your household, contrary to MCL 750.81 parent 2. This is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Those are the charges against you. You've been brought to court on a misdemeanor charge, and you have the following basic rights: to plead guilty, not guilty, or to stand mute. If you stand mute, a plea of not guilty will be entered, and you may plead no contest with the permission of the court. You have the right to a trial by a jury and to have the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent, meaning you cannot afford to pay for an attorney. If the offense requires a minimum jail sentence, this charge does not have a minimum jail sentence. The court determines that it might sentence you to jail, and the appointing authority, which is the court, would decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense of the appointed attorney, and you may contest your ability to pay the ordered fees if the court attempts to collect any costs for an attorney, and the court must then determine your ability to pay. Mr. Fanto, a court-appointed defense attorney, is present in the courtroom. It's my understanding he attempted to meet with you, and he was advised that you did not want to speak with him. Is that correct?
Because of the unfairness of the laws that would fraudulently assume if I take a lawyer that I would be giving up my right to be one of the sovereign people and be fraudulently assumed to be a legal fiction defendant, yes, I have.
Okay.
His name. Instead of answering like a normal person, Eric launches into his Roman trust nonsense, declaring he's not the defendant. Folks, if you're in front of a judge and your grand plan is to argue about whether or not you legally exist, you're already losing. Now here's the kicker, he's facing a domestic violence charge. The allegation? That he assaulted Crystal Martin, a woman connected to his household. The judge lays it out clearly. This is a misdemeanor that could carry 93 days in jail and up to $500 in fines. She explains his rights, his options, even tells him he can get a court-appointed attorney. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? But Eric? Oh no. Eric refuses a lawyer because, in his world, having one would fraudulently assume he's a legal fiction. That's right. This man...
I have refused that a lawyer
Mr. Martin,
fraudulently
Mr.
represents
Martin,
me.
if you have a trial, you have the following rights: to call witnesses to speak for you at trial, and you could get an order signed by the court to require those witnesses to come to court. You have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You have a right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. And if you chose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecuting official could not comment on your refusal to testify. You also have the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind, and you will give up the rights that I just listed to you. You also have the right to be released on bond. If you are now on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty or a finding of guilt is made by a judge or a jury, it may result in a violation of your probation or parole. The court can sentence you to jail and fines plus cost. And the court must tell you on the record the name of the offense, the mandatory minimum jail sentence, if any, and the maximum possible penalty for the offense, including jail, fines, and both, which I've already done. Fines, costs, and other financial obligations imposed by the court must be paid at the time of assessment, except when the court allows otherwise for good cause shown. If you are not able to pay due to financial hardship, you can contact the court immediately and request a payment alternative. So those are your constitutional rights going forward, Mr. Martin.
I want to make it clear I have been legally arrested here by barred away, okay, because he just went by her lies saying I kicked her. As soon as he walked through my door, I'm the one that called 911 on Crystal Martin, okay?
All right, sir, you have a constitutional right to remain silent, and anything you say with respect to this case could potentially be used against you in a court of law. So I would advise you at this time to remain silent with respect to the actual facts or allegations listed in the complaint and misdemeanor complaint, which I've read to you. Sir, are you gainfully employed?
I wish to finish before I answer your questions. I will answer your questions. I want to finish exercising my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and continue what I was saying.
Would rather sink his own case than let someone with actual legal training help him. You can see the judge trying to stay patient, while this guy rambles on about sovereignty, fraud, and his so-called rights. At this point, it's like watching someone walk into a fire carrying a can of gasoline. Every word out of his mouth makes things worse. He even starts rambling about how he was the real victim, claiming he called 911 first and that his arrest was unlawful. The judge warns him, "Sir, anything you say can be used against you." But instead of shutting up, he just keeps digging deeper. And let's be real, the way he carries himself, the tone, the arrogance, it screams.
Oh, okay, sir, you are to appear in court as directed. I'm not going to argue with you, Mr. Martin. I understand your sovereign citizen argument. It's not the first time I've seen it or heard it. You are under the jurisdiction of this court. This court has jurisdiction under the Michigan Constitution and the laws of the state of Michigan. You are charged with a 93-day misdemeanor, sir. You've been advised of all of your rights. Okay, you have a First Amendment right, certainly, but you are here for an arraignment, not to lecture me on sovereign citizen beliefs, okay? I'm trying to get you through this and make sure you understand the process. You are to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court of change of address or phone number. You're to have no contact with the complainant, Crystal Martin, in this case. Do you understand me?
Well, I do not understand in that I do not stand under the charges, the false fraudulent charges, but I do comprehend. But as I was saying, I was illegally arrested in violation of my due process rights. There's not sufficient evidence for my arrest that I did any domestic violence. Bardaway just arrested me anyway. There's no video of me assaulting her. There's no, she did not see it. She just told a lie. I actually filed a PPO on her.
Sir, do you understand that you're not, to have no contact with Crystal Martin?
And then you need to tell her, do not come to my house. She keeps coming to my house so she can set me up with these lies because my sister can't let her over. I have no, I don't want to contact her, but she needs to stop coming over to my house. You know, I'm living with her 33 years.
Miss Maudlin,
let me finish talking. I have the First Amendment right to talk. I have the
Mr. Martin, it's clear to me at this point that you have no respect for the court. I believe that you're a danger. I can't get any information from you as to whether or not you have another place to reside, whether or not you understand the court's no contact provision. I need to know that you understand what I am telling you, because I am attempting to set a bond on your case. And if you want a bond on your case, you've waived your right to an attorney. And I'm trying to figure out, do you have another place to stay? Do you understand what no contact means? And if you're not going to express to me that you have an understanding of what I'm saying, and if we can't get on the same page about that, then I'm inclined to not give you a bond. Do you understand me, Mr. Martin?
I comprehend you, yes.
Okay, do you understand that I said you were to have no contact with Crystal Martin?
Yes, but she needs to stop coming over to my house. I'm not trying to contact her. She's coming over to my house and she can make false allegations like this, set me up so she can have the whole house to herself, her and my sister. This is what the whole agenda is of her with my sister, Lisa Martin, tried this before. Even though I proved to the court before the video of my sister, Lisa Martin, trying to set me up with lies and try swinging at me, insulting me. I have this on video saying that Crystal Martin here. I have her on video swinging at me in dealing with the prior case she tried to bring me.
That he thinks he's smarter than the court. But all it's really doing is showing everyone in that room he has no respect for the system, the judge, or even basic common sense. And folks, we're only just getting warmed up. Because what Eric says next, well, let's just say he takes this circus act to a whole new level. The judge tries one last time to guide Eric through the process. She lays it out crystal clear. He must appear in court as directed. He must not commit new crimes. And most importantly, he's to have no contact with Crystal Martin. Simple, right? But Eric, he can't just say, "Yes, Your Honor," and move on. Nope. He doubles down with his signature line. "I do not stand under the..."
Okay. So I have
Mr. Martin, does Crystal Martin live at the home on Clifford Street?
Yes, she comes over like for a day or two, and my sister lets her come over, and she stays there for a day or two. Yes, and then here and there.
Okay, so your sister owns the home.
No, she doesn't own the home thing. So my understanding is the bank really owns it. It's always been like my parents' house. But I don't even think really my parents own it because they didn't finish paying off the mortgage or whatever. So I think technically it's the bank's house, but me and my brother and sister have been staying there for a long time. Me there for like 32 years. My parents have passed away now. So now it's like a fight with them two. They're trying to take over the whole house by coming with false allegations, by telling cops, "Oh, he assaulted me," all the time. There's no evidence. It's not true. It's a lie. There's insufficient evidence in violation of my due process rights. But Bartaway arrested me anyways, and this is just what she wants. So they can have the whole house to themselves. I even filed a case with Crystal Martin.
All right, so you're not to have contact with Crystal Martin. You're not to return to 9074 Clipper in the city of Detroit, or in the city of Taylor, I'm sorry. You're allowed
Objection, it violates my due process. You cannot deny me my right to live at my house because of an unsupported allegation by her, which is a lie at that. Like I said, the cop had no sufficient evidence. She just told a lie, and the guy didn't even, Bartaway, that is, the police officer, just came to me and arrested me right off the bat. That violates my due process rights if there's sufficient evidence.
Sir, you're allowed one visit to the premises to obtain personal belongings. You must be accompanied by a police officer.
And I want Bartaway. Well, hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm just gonna say what I got to say so you don't cut me off. And I want Bartaway arrested for his illegal arrest. I want Bartaway arrested for illegally arresting me. I want him charged for assault and battery, for illegally arresting me, and kidnapping.
Okay.
Because it was without my consent.
Mr. Martin, if you are not allowed at the 9074 Clifford Street address, where will you be staying?
I am allowed. I don't have nowhere else to live. That's my house. I'm allowed there. You ordered that is illegal. That violates my due process.
All right. He has a $2,000 cash bond with a GPS tether.
Yes, I'll
And
check
he's
that
not to
violates my right to a
return.
personal bond.
He's
I have a
not
constitutional right, as
to
you just said,
appear
to
at
be
night.
innocent without guilty.
He cannot come to 9074 Clifford or be in contact with Crystal Martin.
Charges, but I do comprehend. This is the kind of nonsense sovereign citizens live for, pretending that word games can override the law. The judge is calm, but you can see her patience fading. She warns him that if he doesn't acknowledge and understand the no-contact order, she's not giving him a bond. That's when Eric starts crying about how it's all a setup. According to him, his ex and his own sister are conspiring against him to steal the family house. Yeah, because clearly everyone in his life has nothing better to do than team up in an elaborate plot just to kick him out. The more he talks, the worse it gets. He starts ranting about how the bank technically owns the house, how he's lived there for decades, how everyone's out to get him. Meanwhile, the judge just wants a straight answer about where he's going to stay if he can't go back home. Instead of clarity, she gets a rambling monologue about mortgages, conspiracies, and false arrests. Finally, the judge has had enough. She sets a $2,000 cash bond with a GPS tether, makes it absolutely clear he cannot return to the house, and orders no contact with Crystal Martin. And when Eric tries to keep talking, insisting the cop should be arrested for kidnapping him, the courtroom camera literally tilts away, like even the equipment couldn't handle another second of this nonsense. And here's the reality check. Sovereign citizens love to scream about rights and constitutions, but none of this holds up in court. Case law, precedent, decades of rulings, all of it makes their arguments worthless. But Eric, he doesn't care. He's convinced he's a freedom fighter when in reality, he just made himself look like a grown man throwing a tantrum. You know what's truly sad? His parents probably worked their whole lives to give him that house. And now, here he is, standing in court, arguing with a judge, embarrassing himself in front of the world. Not fighting for freedom, not standing up for justice, just spiraling deeper into delusion. So here's my question for you. Was this guy really brainwashed by sovereign citizen nonsense, or was he just desperate and grasping at anything to dodge accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this case was one for the books.